Hi, my name is Vanessa Roanhorse. This is my first Zoom, so people in the room and then the people who are Zooming, just know that like if I'm not speaking up, Cecilia, will you manage to make sure there's questions or things coming through? Okay, perfect. All right. So thanks for today. This is my first try at the Mexico Rainforest platform. It's really exciting to see you all here today. So welcome to the New Mexico Rainforest University Center. And I'm looking forward to being the mentor for this semester. So I am CEO of Roanhorse Consulting. It's a small consulting company based in the city of Albuquerque. I'm also co-founder of Native Women Lead, which is an organization specifically designed to support Indigenous women into positions of CEO and leadership. There are 7 other co-founders, so we are a group of 8 Indigenous women entrepreneurs, and we're also currently based in Albuquerque. My contact is vanessa@roanhorseconsulting.com. I just share that because that's the best way to get in touch with me beyond today. Who am I? Well, date, tohana, ninjle, pochitni bashistin, towahan, pochiche, touching. I grew up in Winter Rock, Arizona. My family is from there. They still live there. Played ball on the res, really loved it. Wanted to be a basketball player in real life. Ended up being 5'1". And I'm a reluctant entrepreneur. And what do I mean by that is starting a company, then starting another company actually wasn't what I thought I was going to do with my life. I lived in Chicago before for about 15 years. I was working in the environmental nonprofit sector doing social enterprise. I met my husband. You can kind of see, he's a tall German Irishman from Chicago. We had our son, who is now 5. He recently just started at NACA, which is a Native American Community Academy in Albuquerque. And when he's about 15 months old, I had a revelation, which was I couldn't imagine raising my son in a place that didn't represent him, in a place in which I couldn't hear my own language, and a place so far from family. So we packed up, we moved to Albuquerque. We didn't have a job in place. Thank God I have a twin sister who had a house, and she let us live there. And for the first 6 months, I couldn't find a job. Every place I applied, I just wasn't the right fit. My background and my resume, my skill sets just weren't aligned with what people were looking for. Living on credit cards, trying to figure out how to put food on the table, I scrounged up my first contract. And interestingly, it was with the city of Albuquerque based upon work I'd done in Chicago. I had to start an LLC because I had to figure out how to separate my personal finances with my business finances. And thus Roanhorse Consulting was born. That was about 3.5 years ago. When we launched, we really weren't sure who our customer was, who we were trying to help, what were our services, how were we going to generate revenue, and more importantly, we really didn't know if people wanted us. I mean us, I mean me. So in some cases, we started our company completely backwards. But I also started a company similarly how a lot of people start a company, just to put food on the table, just to make sure the ends are meeting, right? That you can take care of your kids, you can take care of your family, you can take care of your home, and you can do something that's exciting, that makes you feel good. So when I started this, it was ass backwards. No business experience, and I came at it completely unsure where to start. So when I started, I went and looked for resources. I looked for programs that supported Indigenous people. I looked for mentors that looked like me. I'll tell you what, I didn't find a lot. What I did find was a lot of incredible resources that were completely disconnected. I also found a lot of resources in which it felt like I was drinking out of a fire hose. It was just, how many marketing, communications, QuickBooks trainings are the right ones for me? How do I know what's my best learning? Am I an online learner? Am I a one-on-one learner? Am I a class learner? Am I a group learner? Do I like spreadsheets? Do I like pictures? I had no idea. So through that journey and figuring out what to do with the company, we co-founded Native Women Lead. And that was specifically a response to the fact that we weren't seeing connected resources for people who wanted to start businesses that weren't in the traditional tech space, that weren't making high growth companies, at least not initially, and also for people who might have complicated lives. Some of us aren't just students anymore. Some of us are gray haired, you know, older, families at home. We wanted to ask ourselves, what does a rational ecosystem for entrepreneurs and businesses look like when they look like regular people who probably have a full-time job, maybe going to school, and your business might be your side hustle? So for us, Native Women Lead was a response. Not the response for everyone, but it was a response. So since 2016, we have grown to now be a 5-people company. It's 90% Indigenous women-led. We are doing initiatives locally for tribal, non-tribal governments, for tribal, non-tribal nonprofits. We're also working nationally. What's exciting for me is in my business growth, so much of it has been built. I think the saying is building it while you're flying it. That's still what I'm doing. I'm not done learning. So we may keep, I think my colleague Stephanie Poston says, new level, new devil, and that's real. So in this company that we're growing, you know, we have big dreams. We want to be bigger. We want to create a company and a system that equally supports our employees to have some kind of equity, to have some ownership, to build wealth. We want to create a movement with Native Women Lead specifically focused on how do we look at Indigenous businesses models or models of business that are focused on regenerative systems. And I guess the last piece for me is, as we think about what you want to all embark on, what your business idea is, what you're interested in starting, what you've probably already started, just know that like you never stop learning, right? Like this thing of entrepreneurship, first of all, we were all entrepreneurs before the industrial age. And that was like, what, 80 years ago? This is a baby economy. We have it still within us in our DNA to come back to it. And I truly do believe in entrepreneurship. So that's my husband, myself, and our son. And I do it for them. I'm a mom, partner, like I said, aspiring basketball player. So the mentor's why. This is my why. This is Vanessa Roanhorse's why. Because the future of work will not resemble the work we're accustomed to today or at any point in history. What's changing so rapidly right now is that we no longer have jobs in which we're going to spend 30 years, get our gold watch, and walk out with a pension. Those jobs don't exist. There are very few jobs where you have entry-level positions that you can work your way up. In some cases, there's very few places to get internships anymore. Because how many people can take an internship that's unpaid? Can anyone? How many people can take an internship where you only get a $1,500 stipend for 6 months? What I'm saying is like the systems in which we're supposed to grow into new careers have shifted. The other thing that has shifted is, who's heard of the gig economy? That baby is going to be in the gig economy. So what's the gig economy? Who's heard of Uber? Grubhub? Airbnb? Those are big examples of the gig economy, meaning the new economy is going to be based upon people finding different types of jobs to have flexibility in their life. People finding jobs that are going to have to like be reliant upon you and your own tiny ecosystem. Yep. Young people no longer are staying at jobs longer than 3 years. You know, they're looking 3 years in, want to learn this, 3 years, want to learn that. We are going to have multiple careers in our lives. So for me, why is entrepreneurship so important? It's because we have to realize that like as we see the changing in ways in which people hire and employ, as we start to look at the skill sets that people need, it's not going to be the same anymore. And the other piece for me is what makes it even harder is that there is a huge pay equity gap. It's very difficult for anyone to be able to make what they like to make when the systems are only going to pay you $7 to $8 an hour. Entrepreneurship for me was most definitely a pathway to the next part. Everyone deserves to live a quality life and self-determine their own futures. What I think that means is if the future of work isn't going to support me the way it supported my parents, maybe my grandparents, then I want to have control over my future of work. Entrepreneurship and being a business owner has been my pathway to self-determine a life that has given me some quality, and more importantly, has created a foundation for my son to have a life. And my hope, however you take this word of entrepreneurship and business, is that the goal for me has always been, how do you find that thing that drives you, that you're passionate about? And it doesn't matter if you do find a job or you start a company, but that you're working towards this idea of self-determination, that you're working towards this idea that whatever it is you do, it should drive quality of life. So, what can you expect today? I'm going to go over a couple of these slides, and then I'm going to have Cecilia from UNM come on up. And she's going to give you more of the sort of logistical details of how this process will work. This program, as you sign up to be part of it, what you're going to learn, how you're going to learn, and then we'll get back a little bit to sort of some somewhat engaging, hopefully fun next couple of slides. And then my interest is to figure out how can we best work together. Because I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be in a town. When I grew up in Winter Rock, this was the big city. And I love coming back here. And real talk, the last time I was here, I got lost. So I ended up taking a wrong turn, was in the mountains in like 5 minutes. It's good to be home. It's good to be here with you. All right, so we're going to learn today is an overview of the University Center. So it's going to be the program and how it can be relevant to you as a student or community member, because remember, you don't have to be a full student to do this class. We encourage anyone who might be calling in, you can take this without being a student. I think that's really powerful. A preview of what you'll expect as a participant, meaning like what are the initiatives, the programmatic platforms, the certificate that you're actually going to walk out with. I think those are important pieces. How to work with me, your mentor, what ideas you want to explore, pitching, networking. I mean, half the battle for me has always been about walking into a room and speaking in front of a group of people. This is like my terror zone, right up here. But I've done it enough that I've had to learn my own tricks. But also, how do we explain clearly what we're trying to make? Because if you can't say what you're building, what you're designing, what you're trying to deliver very clearly, people lose interest. Let's help you get there. And then sign up, you know, UNM-Rainforest.com. pretty sure everyone knows it. If you don't, write it down. Program overview. Cecilia, can you come on up, please? Thank you.
So my name's Cecilia Pacheco. I work at stc.unm. We're at the Lobo Rainforest building in Albuquerque. But we've started this new initiative through an EDA grant that we received about a year ago, to where we're bringing this entrepreneurial ecosystem out from main campus and into the branch campuses so that we can reach a greater portion of New Mexico. So like I said, this program is funded by an EDA grant, and as part of this program, it's called the New Mexico Rainforest University Center program. And our goal is to provide entrepreneurial capability training to anyone who's interested. So we have some programs that are more geared towards students, but we also have programs that are geared towards community members, anyone who wants to learn about entrepreneurial skills. And so I'll talk about some of those programs that we have as part of this initiative. So as I mentioned before, I work at the Lobo Rainforest building, and that building is centered around this idea of the rainforest. So the rainforest ecosystem has like a bunch of different parts to it, and all those parts work together to make the rainforest as a whole. And so we're trying to bring that idea and that concept into the economy and all the different startup businesses in New Mexico. We're trying to create that type of environment and community where different entrepreneurs, different people can come together, work together, collaborate and cooperate with one another, just to try to build a bigger, better ecosystem for our state. So this is just one of the murals we have at the Lobo Rainforest building. If you're ever in Albuquerque, you're welcome to stop by. It's a really cool building. And this is just a quote from the book that the building is actually kind of centered around. And so it says, "Thou shalt break rules and dream, open doors and listen, trust and be trusted, experiment and iterate together, seek fairness, not advantage, or fail, and persist and pay it forward." So that's just one of the quotes we have, and we have a few around our building. So as I mentioned before, we have a bunch of different programs and initiatives through this university center, and one of them is so the platform's Ecommerce for All. So we're trying to develop trainings, and we also have a UNM class called Create Self-Bank that we face in New Mexico is we're a rural state, so if we just have like a physical shop, we can only reach so many people. But if you learn how to bring your business online, you have the opportunity to still live where you live, but make more money, reach more people, sell your product to a bigger population. So this is kind of what this whole program is founded on, is e-commerce. And so one part of that program is called Create Self-Bank course. It's a class through UNM that you can either take as a student using like your credit hours and tuition, or you can pay a fee for it to take it as a community member. And this is a really great class. We've had a lot of very successful student businesses come out of this class. One of which, if you want to look up later, it's called Shutterbomb. One of our student entrepreneurs on main campus, he took this class, and he's actually started about 4 companies at this point. He's like 23, I think, 22. But one of his companies, he used a lot of the strategies from this class, and he was able to draw a lot of traffic to his site, and his business has been really successful. So this is one part of the program. If you're interested in the class and learning more, you can always email me or the professor, Bill. He's a really awesome guy. And this class is offered at all the branch campuses and main campus. So it's available to all UNM students as well as community members. And the second part of this e-commerce platform is our seminar series. So Create Sell Bank is a class that you take for credit. You pay tuition or a fee if you're a community member. This part of the program is actually free. So these are free seminars that we offer once a month to bring different topics of like entrepreneurial training and business topics to you and anyone who's interested. The really cool part about this is that we offer the seminars at different branch campuses. So for example, this specific one, Meet the Mentor Info Session, is here at UNM-Gallup, but we're on Zoom, so anyone around the state who wants to view this can view it. We've had past seminars. Last semester, spring 2019, we did like a pitching seminar. We did a how to generate a business idea, market analysis, a lot of important things that you need to know if you're going to go into business, start your own business. And so it's really awesome because they're free, they're available online. If you can't make it to the physical location, you can still view it. And then we also post all of the seminars, the recordings, the slides, all the information on our UNM-Rainforest.com website. So this is another really cool part of the program. And like I said, there's one per month. Our next one is starting an e-commerce business while being a student at UNM. And this one's actually going to be given by Kyle Gwynn, who is the student entrepreneur that I mentioned earlier. He'll be giving a seminar about his experience with these different programs at UNM that I'm telling you about now. And then we also have one coming up on October 29th, which is Selling Without a Store. And then November, Corporate Structure. Still working on scheduling that one, but there'll be more information once we get that scheduled. And like I said, everything is on the UNM-Rainforest.com website. In addition to the Create Sell Bank course and then the seminars, we also have a bunch of different events that we host. A lot of them are in Albuquerque, but they're available to all UNM students. And some of them are open to community members as well. It just kind of depends what the event is. So this is a list of some of our upcoming events. We're starting a UNM network of student inventors meeting, and that's open to any student at the branch campuses, at main campus, who wants to network with people who have like innovative ideas, and just if you want to become part of a community of innovation of people who want to start their own businesses, that's a good opportunity. And then we also have two really good opportunities for UNM students coming up. There are two different pitch competitions. And so at these pitch competitions, you get to pitch, if you have any business idea, it doesn't even have to be like a solid thing that you're already doing. You have the idea, you can send in a 90-second video for this first one, the Rainforest Pitch Competition. You send in a 90-second video pitching your idea. Judges will go over that, and then if you make it into the top 10, you'll be invited to come to Albuquerque and pitch at Bow and Arrow Brewing Company. And then you pitch live, and the audience votes at a brewery, so you can invite your friends, family, community members. It's really fun. So there's that opportunity, and there's cash prizes for the top winners of that. And then this third one, the last one, the Comcast Pitch Deck competition, it'll be our first year hosting that, and we're really excited about this one because there's like I said, cash prizes, but there's also travel scholarships available. So if you send in your pitch deck and you win and you need to travel to Albuquerque, and you send us providing like travel scholarships for that, so you can get to Albuquerque and then pitch your business idea live. So, and I have flyers for all these different events and programs. And if you have any questions, my email address is at the end. Oh, and last, I think this is the last slide I have to go over, but I know that's a lot of information, but if you decide to participate in the University Center program, there is an opportunity to earn an entrepreneurial capabilities certificate, and you can earn that in 2 different ways. The first way is by completing that Create Sell Bank course that I talked about, or if you attend 7 out of the 12 seminars that we host throughout the year, that'll also earn you your entrepreneurial capabilities certificate. And the way we kind of keep track of that is there's just like a 10-question quiz after every seminar that's online. You just submit that, and that way we know you attended the seminar, you viewed and received the information, and we keep track of who's taken those quizzes. And once you've completed 7 out of 12, you get your certificate. And the cool thing is that all the seminars are available on our website. So even if you missed the ones last semester, you can go view them, take the quiz, and contact me, and you can start working on that. Turn back to
All right. Thank you, Cecilia. That is a lot of information. So when we get through this, please do take Cecilia's email down. But also, you can use my email because I can help facilitate, broker any conversations, questions you might have. Whatever makes you more comfortable. Just really quick, how many of you have access to high-speed internet at home? How many have to travel to find it? Some of the things that I want to do as we have this process and this conversation is figure out how are we troubleshooting access to quality internet, as well as how are we using the internet and this engagement process to get you where you want to go. We're all different learners. Like I said, I didn't know what kind of learner I am. I actually still don't, but I'm pretty flexible. And what I'm open to is whoever wants to work with me, let's find the process that works for you. Whether it's online tools, phone calls, emails, and then I'll be here in person. I just want to share that because as someone who grew up in what we, I guess now consider rural tribal communities, you know, even back home, I still have to, certain times of the day, go walk up to the top of the hill to get my text messages. I was home for Labor Day and my family had ceremony and I needed to get a proposal in. And it was a big PDF. I went up to the hill, was on my phone, couldn't get the signal, drove to McDonald's over by Bash's, went in, got into the internet, was able to get the document over. I felt really successful, treating myself to some French fries. But I also know how hard this can be. So I just want to put that out there that as we continue to work together, let's find the best way to communicate. All right, so on the Site Mentor, you're going to have email support, which is going to be Ask Me Anything. I'm going to be here 4 times in person, like physically here. I'll work with Gallup's branch manager, the person who is going to be helping here with the classes, to find a location, and then we'll dedicate time. I think office hours is generally how it works in college. It's been a long time since I've been in college. But I'm also down to like meet at a coffee shop. I don't know about you, but like I do half my work mobile, running around from meeting to coffee shop wherever I get Wi-Fi. So those are other options we can talk about. And going back to some of the information that Cecilia shared, you know, I want to be that connection point for you, not just for what's happening within the rainforest ecosystem, but there's so much happening across the state. Some of the initiatives I want to see is how do we align with the work here with the Gallup Chamber, McKinley County Chamber, with the work that's happening around the Arts Main Street District downtown here in Gallup. I want to talk about what's happening on Zuni Main Street and all of the cool stuff that they're doing in Zuni. I want to talk about tapping on Navajo Nation with their interest to do buy local, the work with Diné Chamber. I want to talk about what Change Labs is doing in Tuba City. They've got an incubator specifically supporting Native people in that area. I want to talk about the cool stuff that's happening in Albuquerque. So I have two guests here with me, John Freisinger, Kelly Ward. So John is the executive director of the Innovation District, which is the campus in which the rainforest is on. When we were looking about what does innovation mean, and trust was up there, there was a great article that John wrote this morning on how do we build trust? What does innovation mean beyond just technology? Innovation is about the things you're dreaming and the things you're doing. I want to help us as a community connect into all of that activity that's happening there. And the last piece is, this is my passion, right? Like I'm a living, breathing, I'm right alongside you, entrepreneur or business owner or hustler, whatever you want to call it. I'm right here with you because I'm doing it in real time. My biggest challenge right now, HR policy. Oh my God, I have to figure out HR. Don't know what that means, but I'm doing it. So as you accomplish every little step of your business plan, your business idea, articulating what you want to do, figuring out what your revenue streams are, no, I'm right there with you because I'm constantly iterating myself. Okay, so this is the interactive portion. I have a feeling some people's hearts just sink into their stomachs. You don't want to speak in front of a group of people. That's okay. I have a feeling some people are terrified because what if my idea is the worst possible idea? The thing about it is that if you want to do this, we all have to be uncomfortable and get out of our comfort zones. That's just the truth. I'm up here because I want to share my story and be supportive, but I'll be honest, I cannot stand public speaking. It is my least favorite thing that I have to do. I'm also really terrible at financials. Terrible at financials. I have screwed up my books I don't know how many times. I've forgotten to pay my taxes. And if you work in the state of New Mexico off tribal lands, you got to pay GRT. It's so complicated. But I keep trying because I want to know and I'm willing to be uncomfortable. And if you're willing to be uncomfortable with me, I will be as transparent and honest as I possibly can with you. So what's your idea or venture? How many already have a business? 1, 2. How old's your business?
Well, I have several businesses.
Which one would you like to pick?
Forward.
Forward?
Private equity fund, the best business.
And how long has that been going on?
It's been going on since 2000.
Okay. 12 years? I'm bad at math. I'm bad at financials. 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you up there? Couple months. So you've got like, I don't know, what's the language? Pre-startup? Startup? What is the business? ATM industry and nonprofit for domestic violence. The one for profit. And do they work together? The two separate companies? Wow, that's incredible. Okay. Anybody else have? You could be a baby business, or you could be an idea. Anyone have a business idea they're excited about?
I think my own fashion company, my own house.
Your own fashion house. Oh wow, house, yeah. That's exciting. Where are you in that thinking?
Where am I at right now?
Yeah.
I'm just like making like woven skirts because that's like
Ribbon skirts.
Yeah, I'm like working like honey scarves because that's what's like big around here now.
Yeah.
So like I'm like working for like right now I'm just like working through like what's trending and how can we use that to manipulate like what my idea is. Someone who wants to wear something.
And are you selling stuff yet?
Yeah.
So you have a business.
Oh.
It's not a thought.
Okay.
You're like making commerce happen, right? Like money is being traded. You're building something. You're getting it out. You have a business. That's awesome. Who else?
I've got like 30 years of public service under me, and I invented something through that.
You invented something through 30 years of public service. Wow.
Yes, and I went through. I invented something, an object to place on a piece of equipment, and I went through kind of like a national firm. I paid them to market for me.
Yeah.
And they failed. So I'm stuck. It cost me a lot of money. I paid over $10,000
To get this up to market.
Yes.
Okay.
And to get it out there.
Okay.
And funding wise, I'm stuck with it now, so I need to go somewhere with it.
Wow. Okay. So I can't wait to learn what the thing is. I also can't wait to learn what 30 years you've been in. And then I'd like to learn a little bit more, you don't do this today, about what your market approach was. And then the last piece is how much do you need? So that's just a couple things for you to think about. You don't have to answer them because, you know, I'm sure you're still figuring out how you want to talk about it. But that is actually a journey that I think many of us don't think we can actually take, which is going national. You did it. Doesn't mean that your product isn't ready to be actually mass marketed. Half the battle, for me at least, my experience, has been access to the right people in the right networks who know how to sell a thing. So let's keep talking about that.
Right, and my patent
Is it?
it's on hold at the U.S. Patent Office, and it's backlogged, but I just need to pay for it.
You need the money to finish the patent.
Right.
I'm looking at John and Kelly because John has worked in the past behind you at TBC, which was a technology venture company. Let's just say we can get you into the right hand steps to start having this conversation. Anyone else have at least an idea or a thought on a business? A streetwear brand? Or like post screening? Cut and sew?
Yeah.
What is that? Do you have like a theme or like the kind of things you'll be making, or is it urban? Yeah. Yeah. Are you making stuff now?
Yeah. I do have. Posted on my business plan.
Okay.
And I'm just
That's great. And you have a business plan you're starting?
yes.
That's fantastic. Most folks, I don't have a business plan. I should get one. Because it would help me know where I want to be in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So that's exciting. Who has an idea for a company?
To bring back a batting cage.
Batting cage?
For local.
Oh, here.
There's batting one from this group.
Yeah.
Been there for years, but baseball is such a big thing out there that was fun. I noticed that the only places that have the for batting cage is anywhere outside. But
So you have to go to the high schools.
to actually make it public for t-ball, softball, the seniors. You know, it would
Yeah.
actually be a good way to help the athletes to
Yeah.
and actually get people out, have fun.
Do you think you'd want to take over the existing place that it started or start fresh in a new location?
I think we can actually, it has a good structure. It's been up for years. It's just that was there. It has a good bond.
Fantastic. That's like, half the time if you have to build from scratch, think of how expensive that is. If there was an existing market, you could tap into that, right? So how far are you in that idea?
I've just been around the idea. I'm thinking to Facebook with people and I was 15.
Oh, wow.
I traveled to Albuquerque to these batting cages there.
For him.
Yeah. I started bringing up that idea and just started by it on the Facebook.
Yeah, you're an expert too on where all the batting cages are at in the area. So you know how far people are driving and how expensive it is. Let's figure that out. Who else? Anyone else want to share a business idea? Even if it's just an idea, like not done any work on it, but just curious.
I didn't share what we were working on. Somebody else can answer.
No, you got it.
Solar generator.
Solar generator.
We're not opted now. Work in Ethiopia as well.
Uh-huh.
I'm here partly to talk to you again about the STC program.
Very cool.
And to enroll and get patent search work done.
Is there a patent already for solar generators?
I have
Your own patent?
pending.
You have a patent pending.
Yeah. So process of working with the state, SBIR.
You did. And were you funded by SSBR?
It was, it was their I-Core.
Okay.
First session of I-Core.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm here to get.
Wow.
We want to see a group actually form here to build a plant to church rock.
Well,
We know what the technology works.
So that inventors network would be interesting for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think that
I also know that there's a lot of meetup groups, at least I've seen in Albuquerque, around inventions around solar renewable wind products and remote broadband. So there's a lot of working groups happening. A lot of them are online, so that would be something just to figure, but that's pretty cool.
how do you connect the one?
Well, they're like on meetups. Some of them use Slack.
Connected to the rainforest?
No, just other great people who are probably connected to maybe the innovation district and other parts of it. So again, that's just like, I think the rainforest and UNM is an incredible center, like a hub of resources. But like what's also around this hub that's connected, but maybe not within the university, is just as rich and it's so vibrant. That's the thing that keeps blowing my mind the more and more I do this, is just the amount of innovation that's happening in places that we're not paying attention to.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
The local rainforest is kind of like a node, or it connects you to other resources. So it's like a place to come into, but you don't have to like only be involved there. Like we can help connect you to like people or other programs that might benefit.
The thank you for everyone for sharing what you're excited about. And for those that aren't ready to share or maybe don't really know, but they're curious about what business could look like, maybe you're here because actually your mom does something. Maybe you're here because your partner does something. The good thing about this is that the tools that you'll learn and the conversations we'll have really should just be enhancing and lifting what you know. The thing I like to share often is you're the experts in your business, in your industry, in your idea. Don't let anyone tell you you don't know what you're doing. What you don't know is just the other sort of like structural things that are required to have a functioning business. But you know what you're doing. And I just want to stress that because it took me many years to get over my own imposter syndrome and belief gap that I was doing something and it was good. So just a couple kind of ending things. Take what you will, don't take what you don't like. But for me, I sort of was thinking through what does it take? You have to care about what you're doing. You have to be excited every day about what you're making and creating. You know there's a market and a customer out there waiting for you, and if you aren't sure, your whole job right now is to go and find them. You're always learning because you have to be responsive to not only your customers and your markets, because that's real. You have to be learning in real time, constantly and consistently. You should have a squad or a team or a crew that's there to support you. For some of us, it's family and friends. And they may be just your cheerleaders, and that's good, but you need one person who's willing to give you the hard talks, right? When you're making dumb choices, you need someone to come in and give you that, sit down, Shiaja. And then for others, it might be co-founders. It might be a COO, an operations person, your lawyer, your accountant. All I'm saying is find the people who lift you and the people who ground you, which sounds opposite, but it's necessary. And what it takes is you gotta be ready for a mentor. It doesn't have to be me, it could be me, but you need to find someone who's done something that you are excited about, that you want to do, and ask them to talk to you, have coffee. The reason for it is that for me, entrepreneurship always felt like this thing that only young, wealthy people who went to like top tier colleges who then had an exit and sold like a company for $1 billion. That's what I thought entrepreneurs were. They're not. They're regular people like you and I, and our journeys are messy. Let's get past that, right? And the other piece on the mentor is like you're not alone. Whether it's your peers or somebody you find to talk to, like you're not alone. You know, this isn't a solo journey. Mentorship doesn't, our entrepreneurship doesn't have to just be a win-win for me as an individual. It's a win-win for your community. It's a win-win for your family. It's a win-win for your place, right? Because you're reinvesting that dollar back in where you belong. You deliver what you say you are going to deliver. I can't stress that. If you want to be successful at this, if you tell someone you're going to do something, do it. Doesn't matter what it is. A meeting, sending a PDF, putting a calendar invite, delivering a beautiful ribbon skirt. Deliver it. If you say you're going to do it, do it. The last one is be ready, because it is an adventure. All of the good, all the bad. My hair got really white the last 3 years. It wasn't like this. I wouldn't take it back. But I will say, it's an adventure. And I wear my hair as part of that adventure and with pride. Some final thoughts. It's not easy. If you're scared, it's okay to be scared. Discuss your ideas with me. And then I think for the few folks, this might be a good time to obtain your provisional patent. Let's put that as like a priority for some of you. And whatever you write or photograph, draw or present, place any of those things there. Part of this is like just protecting yourself. I mean, for me, I hope we can have a seminar on intellectual property, because as a lot of us are creatives in the creative economies, we forget that we're creating something and it should belong to you. And for some of us who are used to things being stolen, this is even more important for you. It's yours. Last is consider a co-founder. It's there because sometimes I wish I had a co-founder from my company. And then on the other hand, with Native Women Lead, there's 8 of us, 7 co-founders. There's a balance somewhere in there. I don't know what it is. But at least find someone you can lean on. And then joining the programs at the UNM Global Rainforest, whether it's at this branch, you know, or the main campus or somewhere else. How can we help you be successful in utilizing and accessing all of UNM's programming? Oh, and that's it. I think I got rid of your slide. Okay. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
And I think that's all. Is there any questions? Okay. So thank you guys very much for this time. And anyone on Zoom, I didn't ask you anything. I apologize. So forgive me. So Cecilia's back.
So thank you for coming. I have a sign-in sheet up here if you didn't get to it. If you're interested in the program, I'm the site coordinator, so I work with all the branch campuses. I can point you to whoever you need to be pointed to. If you are a student, not just a UNM student, but a student, we do have pitch competitions that will, if you pitch your idea, it can give you funding to take your business to the next level. So I just wanted to throw that out there because